What's up, guys? Welcome to your 83rd Android tutorial for the new Boston. And what we're going to do in this tutorial is actually start programming our basically our sliding drawer class. And what I've done is I've set up the Java class called Slider. You guys should have had that set up. I kind of just set up all the reference bridges because we have these 4 buttons right here, which I just gave them the IDs of handle 1, handle 2, handle 3, handle 4. And then again, this one has the actual handle ID, so keep that in mind. I also gave reference to the checkbox, and I set the on-click listeners by implementing the on-click listener and on-check change listener. So set up our bridges or references to the XML. Then I set this checkbox, or the checkbox called checkbox, and I set the on-check change listener to this. That's why we had to implement that. And I set all of our buttons the set on-click listener to our on-click listener that we implemented down here. And then what I did is I set up a switching case for on-click method. These are for our buttons. Switching case just gets the ID if it's the first button. Here's that case, second button. We haven't really filled in that yet. I'm just setting up the basic framework for the sake of time. And then for our on-check change listener, pass in this compound button for argument 1. We're just going to say, is that checked? If it is, we're going to do something here. If else, we're not. Now, obviously, we haven't done anything with the handle yet. With our sliding drawer yet. So that's what this tutorial is mainly about. I just wanted to kind of talk through what I've done so far, just so you guys aren't too confused there. So the first thing we want to do is set up our sliding drawer. So let's do that again within our onCreate method here. I'm just going to set it up real quick, and again it's called sliding drawer. It's a class, and we're just going to call this SD for sliding drawer. And then we got to import that, and then we're just going to say again sliding drawer, just like any other time we set up a reference. Find view by ID. And then it was sliding D was the ID we gave our sliding drawer. Set that up. Now this is the main part of the tutorial here. I'm just going to show you some of the functions or methods that the sliding drawer can do. So we're going to say set on drawer close, set on drawer close listener, on drawer open listener, and there's also a scroll listener for the drawer that you can do. Basically, we're just going to do one of those, but hopefully you get the concept of all 3 of those. That's just when the drawer closes, this is when it opens. So we're going to say this as well, and then we have to let our class implement that class. So we're going to say let slider implement on drawer open listener, and then we just have to add the unimplemented methods down here. So now we can just do something like media player mp equals media player dot create, and context this for class id r dot raw dot explosion, and then we're just gonna do mp dot start. So now when our drawer closes, it's going to just start a explosion noise that we have in our resources. Again, that's not review, but that's just one of the methods that we can use. Now something else we can do is basically we can toggle our drawer through code. So let's say we hit the first button, we can say our SD slider, our slider drawer, which we called SD, we can say dot, and again we have to establish for above this on create method so our whole class can use it. So again we're just going to say SD there and define the variable above, and then we can do SD dot open, SD dot let's not do that one. We're going to do, for the 4th button, we're going to say SD dot close, and the third button is just going to toggle it. Whether it's open or closed, it's going to toggle to the other option. So I mean, these are just some of the methods that we can use for the sliding drawer. Again, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. And then one other thing that we can do is if that box is checked, we can also do sd.lock, and that won't allow our slider or our handle to work. It's going to lock it in sd.unlock here. I know I'm going kind of quickly, but hopefully by now in the series you guys kind of understand the concepts. I just wanted to show you some of the methods that we can use for the sliding drawer and how they work. Not necessarily get into the actual coding, just some of the methods. Again, we just set up our slider and we say on open listener. So let's just check it out, make sure everything works. And at the end of the tutorial, I kind of scroll through the code one last time slowly so you guys can pause the video and catch up and write it if you guys are having trouble, but hopefully you shouldn't. So we're going to open up our slider class, and the first thing we're going to do is open it. And as you can hear, that's our explosion noise that we set up. Now let's do our checkbox. Now it's checked, so we can't. I'm trying to slide it down, but it's not allowing me to. So we uncheck it and then we can slide it down again. Our first button is going to open it up, and it also calls the onOpen method, so you can hear the explosion. And our fourth button is going to close it, and since it's closed, it's not going to do anything. And our third button is just going to toggle back and forth. So hopefully you guys see how that all works. Our second button really doesn't do anything, but and even when we have this checkbox, when we lock it from the checkbox, this fourth button won't close it, and the third button won't toggle it because it's locked. So there you guys go. Hope you enjoyed that. I don't know. Oh yeah, I'll slide through this code real quickly. Implement all three of those things. You can pause here, or here, or here. And so hopefully you guys kind of understand what I was trying to teach you there. Didn't want to get too much into like setting this all up because it would have taken too long if you guys just watched me typing. But thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next tutorial. Peace.